always described you as the first officer that I thought I should be like.
I'm aware of the reputation I've had on this ship, but recently I'm trying a new approach. More hands-on.
My last first officer definitely kept his distance.
I call that style of command a first mistake. Kind that makes my head shake and my heart break. Take some advice from your senior number one. This I assure tried and true. The littlest things can mean everything when it comes to them and you. Connect to your crew.
We're singing again.
We're singing again, and it makes me confess things I've never expressed. Truth be told, in a parallel world, I can see myself on the stage. And for 3 hours a night, and to everyone's delight, I'd regale them with all my renditions of Gilbert and Sullivan.
So what you're saying is, with my new commission to a higher position, I do well to profess my truths.
Rather than question it, I deem it relevant. No longer will I dispute that the littlest things can mean everything in being authentically you. Connect to your truth.
When you put it like that, it makes sense. Rather than question it,
Let's deem it relevant.
absent from fear or dispute. These deeply held things, yes, they mean everything. In becoming authentically you, connect to your truth.
And connect to your crew.
Will do.
You explained that very well.
Welcome
To Timeline Talks.
to the Timeline Talks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talk.
Yes, and welcome to Timelines Talks. We are on the 95th episode, the eve of nearing the end of the show is among... No, did I say that? Is that right? Are we near the end? Is it nearly 100? Can we stop now?
Syndication.
Oh, of course, that's right. We get the rights over through. We are back, yes. Thank you, everyone, for coming to watch us. We've got an action-packed lineup above us. We have Automaton is here, Frank is here. We are joined by Nifty Mittens is here as well, and special guest joining us for the first time, Mr. Irony Rit, because I said believe I was saying your name wrong this entire time, now working exclusively on the data call. We'll have a talk. Mr. Rit, how the devil are you this week?
I'm all right. How are y'all?
We're good.
Cool.
Yeah, you're here to talk to us about the data core and what you've been doing on that. So we'll have a chat.
And the
with you
beta core.
And the beta. Oh, there we go.
All
beta
the cores.
Core. Oh yeah, all the cores.
Yes.
How many cores do you have at the moment?
Apple core.
Hardcore. Anyway,
I've lost count.
That's after hours.
That's the stream of contrast on Gamma Core. Yeah, Janos is right on that.
I was listening to some Bardcore this weekend.
Did you really?
Medieval covers of like 80s and 90s stuff.
Okay,
pretty decent
I'm
actually.
Very interested in. What songs do they do in the Bardcore? I have to know. It was like Living on a Prayer.
Billie Jean was really good because that one got lyrics. A lot of them don't have lyrics, but
Oh, yeah.
Billie Jean, they actually like slightly rewrote the lyrics. It was really good.
Smells Like Teen Spirit. I've heard that in Bardcore, and it was...
Yes. Yep,
Wow.
That one came up too. Yeah.
I'm going to have to check out some Bardcore now. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, actually, I think if you just straight up search Bardcore, they have a channel.
Awesome. I'm going to check that out.
Anyway.
Anyway, for Bardcore Talks, we've got lots to talk about today. We're going to be going over, we're going to have a little summary of the new things that have been happening with the data core, going over the recent WRG developer chat recently with Joe and Ben that happened. We're going to have a little refresh for those that don't know what equipment or continuum missions is, because I believe a few people are still unaware. And we're going to go over some of the more recent crew and maybe tease a little bit of something that's still to come. But... And... maybe And we have a subscriber, Bernard F. Thank you for subscribing yet again. And maybe we're going to bring back a little bit of classic. We're going to have a bit of love it or list it. But first, thing we always do, thank you to everyone that submitted show titles this week. Is this going to look good? No, it's not, because...
Yeah, nice try, everyone.
Oh my God, what is happening to my stream? There we go. No, that's Frank stretched. Oh God. OBS is being really strange. Oh, everyone subscribing. Auto and Cranky, thank you very much. I'm going to have to try and fix this somewhere else because that's being weird. But let's spin the wheel. I'm not on the screen, but who cares? You don't need to see me anyway. That's not the wheel. That's our show notes. Let's click it. Eric Nelson! Thank you very much. That's got to start something. Shall we indeed?
The people need love it or list it. That's why they're here,
That's
baby.
how badly they want these old skits. Let's spin the wheel to see who wins a sub for this week's show titles. Thank you everyone for submitting them. Let's spin it. Oh no! Why did the Darbo notes not play? Never mind. And it is Locals Monkey Darbo. Congratulations! Hey. You give us a contact. I'll get you as a sub after the show. How about that then? Right. While I am Twitch with Jay.
Yes, every time.
Red alerts all around. Shall we talk about very?
By the way,
oh, go on.
After we hit episode 100, we're canceling Timeline Talks, and we're going to start the Big Book podcast with me and No Name Namer. Just putting that out there, so get hyped.
The man emerges from his cocoon and is the glorious host of the Forever Timelines.
And after Timelines Talks 100, it will be the debut of Timeline Talks: The Next Generation.
Ooh,
big talk.
That's
We've heard that one before.
By.
Coming soon.
That means I'm finally free. I'm free to just play Trek games and just do nothing. I can have a life again. But anyway, guys, talk to me.
Yeah, you're never going to stream on Wednesday again. I'm sure.
Do you know what? I've streamed every single Wednesday apart from like once when I was ill since 2020. Do you know how many Wednesdays that is? That's a lot of Wednesdays. That's
that would be so difficult. Imagine if you
Wednesdays.
had kids too. That would be really tough.
I know,
to
it's
pull
just
off.
crazy. It's an insane amount of neglect going on there. No, not really. I joke. For those that don't realise, I try and be a good father. Anyway, let's talk very briefly. WRG had a Q&A recently. In fact, a couple of days ago. It was Friday, I believe it was, where Ben and Joe came on to answer questions for Timeline's viewers and everything else, and went over some topics old and new. Frank, how many of your questions got answered, and which ones are you happy that they
That's
covered?
probably the best segue like you've ever done ever.
I'm just so happy to be here, Idle. Thanks. I'm doing well. It was a great Q&A that we absolutely watched and paid attention to on this channel.
Neymar, thank you.
Host of the Big Book Pod. You know, we co-host. That's correct. We absolutely paid complete attention and did not put funny legs on the bottom of them or anything else. And I was not throwing a fit and throwing things across my room because I submitted very good questions that were basically in the form of, let me show you how I can give you more
Those
money.
are Ben's real legs, by the way.
Those were Ben's real legs. He needs to stop skipping leg day.
To find them.
Anyway, they answered none of my questions, and I didn't pay attention to a damn thing he said. So it was a great Q&A.
Okay, so the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is they are apparently committed to regular, semi-regular updates from WRG, official communication, no more of these schmucks, which the forums are in total glee about, all two of them. So, yeah, it's going to be, and especially if they stick to that schedule. There's yet another, I hate to keep bringing it up, but yet another thing to allay folks' concerns after a big staff layoff that, yes, they do still listen to the community. They still do have people with feelers out monitoring that sort of stuff. The bad was they didn't actually really give you anything new. We've already seen through the equipment and new feature updates over the last couple months. We kind of know what to expect, which we'll brief you on shortly. So they didn't necessarily give us anything fresh there, but that's kind of the downside. If you are committed to frequent, semi-regular updates, then sometimes there's not going to be anything to show because development is what it is. And the ugly is that the 100 dilithium giveaway code only lasted for a day, so I missed out. I was too busy mocking them on our stream. I should have been pumping that code in at store.StarTrekTimelines.com, so I know for next time.
Updated Monday.
Every Monday.
Yeah, there was a few like repeat questions. If anyone's seen our Q&As from Ben over the last few years, then you'll have recognised a few of the questions, like the usual ones. Are you bringing expeditions back? When's the next crew slot sale? Blah blah blah. But
Are you ever gonna fix chat?
Yeah.
In-game chat's not very good, and my messages get lost, and I can't communicate with my fleet, and I don't want to use outside tools because it's a game.
It was something like that. I don't remember. I didn't watch.
All right, that's gonna be the next sub trigger, by the way.
Okay. So chat did come up, but I think this is the first time we've officially heard them say just use Discord. Like they just said there are some great Discords out there. Just use that. I think the first time, and even to the neglect of the forums as well, because I don't think they even asked the forums for questions. I think they literally put a tweet out and came to the Discords and went, "We're doing this," and they realised where their player base is, don't they? So I think that's smart of them to do, because I mean, you got to think for them to fix chat for timelines is basically it would be basically be better to just turn it off.
Also, we got I believe this question was the one that spawned the new definitely will not be repeated over and over again joke meme about triviality. It turns out we will continue to live on Greylick because it is non-trivial to fix that. Something in their code about the location of the fleet boss battles is what forces you there, and it's not just a turn off feature.
Do you know what? It was outstanding to me because I went to another system. I accidentally clicked travel on one of the missions, as you do, and I went to another system. I was just like, "Oh my god, this looks amazing! Look at that planet. That looks really nice on my screen." I was like, I'm just so used to being in that one really dull system that obviously has been picked for frames per second because it takes the least resources to have 6 artifacts and a planet destroyer.
There's some places where the Romulan bird of prey really pops. I don't remember what they are anymore because it's been that long since I've been able to just reliably stay there. Yeah. So, yeah. I may stop asking that question now. I may stop asking that question because apparently it's non-trivial.
Even the beta footage from PAX East in 2017 or 2016, even back then, the ships look good, the planets look good, and that's really kind of been one of the strengths of the game. If you're a new player and you boot it up, you're like, "Oh, this actually looks pretty good," and then they kind of lock you in one place for the next the duration of your prison sentence.
Look all around them, zoom around them. I'm a ship nerd, so I love that kind of stuff. I like pulling up, even that new Gorn ship that's come out is it's such a weird abomination, but I wanted to look at it and kind of right, what is the dimensions of this thing because it's so weird.
Cranky has redeemed in chat a player/fleet shout out. Happy birthday, Genos Adanian.
Happy birthday, Genos!
Noted show historian.
So yes, Timelines Talks historian. Reinstated, as it were.
Hear that? You're reinstated, Genos.
Yeah. Siete, thank you for subscribing. The question I asked, which got announced, was answered fairly early and fairly swiftly. And they answered it in full and completely. Was that I asked, are they going to do anything more with fleet boss battles? We're going to be, because when they first came out, they said, there'll be these new additions, there'll be new bridges and all these things, and they basically said, nah, you're not gonna do it, and I think they just sort of went along the lines of didn't meet player expectations. What I think they meant was didn't make us enough money, which I think is kind of the real inference there. So fleet boss battles, they said it might push it up to 40, but it's not on their roadmap like the bridge battles, but that's kind of a shame. I think
they should just put better rewards. The crew are amazing. The fleet boss battle crew are great. But then you get 72 dilithium and a blue, a 3-star single pole, and if those other rewards were really awesome, I could see how they could monetize it. Some fleets will just power their way through buying more and more tickets to fight, or more and more valor to fight, and money. So I don't think it'd be that hard. I don't know. I don't see the behind the scenes stuff, but don't think it'd be that hard to further monetize it. But
I think when that last update came out and players extrapolated, okay, if I make this much magnesite a day, how long will it take me? About a year to go from bridge level 20 to 30. So I think we kind of knew then, okay, if they are going to keep updating this, is going to be something kind of like the Gauntlet, where you might get it like once a year kind of update, because they have other things, obviously, that need their attention. But in their defense about the non-trivial stuff, with them paring down the dev team and them still working on new content and updating existing stuff like Honor Hall and Gauntlet and Tuesday Pack and all that stuff, it can be really difficult. So Timelines Talks has given into the non-trivial work years ago, in terms of skits and custom intros and all that stuff. So I feel their pain.
I do respect the limitations they have, and I suppose at least this time they answered that, like, again, the Greylick thing, they answered that it is difficult. Like, before, I always got the impression of, like, they said no, but never why no. Just, no, we're not doing that at this time. Now they said why. And
yeah, we've always appreciated Ben, because he's always come on and said, he's been honest with us, like, to a point with things like that. It's like, are you going to do it? And he'll go, no. And because we're just not. Or he'll go, maybe. Like, if you commit to a yes, like, he won't go, oh, you won't, like, sidestep the question. He will say yes or no. So that's kind of a benefit, and like, I'm quite glad they're doing their own streams. Apparently they're going to do Pictionary at some point. They're going to do a Star Trek Pictionary, which I'm all for them doing casual stuff. We've been trying to get them on the Butter Zone for ages. Could you imagine?
Pull up in chat, folks. Let us know what you think about fleet boss battles and your level of participation, as it were.
Mr. Ritt, are you a Fleet Boss Battle fan? Irony Ritt, are you there? Can you hear us?
You are muted.
Are you a Fleet Boss Battles fan?
Yes, I am actually, and I like going pew pew pew, and actually, because so I'm in one of that very strange, awkward phase. I reached level 99 a few months ago, and I still have like several hundred crew that I either don't have or don't have finished. So I guess you would call that mid-game. So I've got I've had a maxed artifact since before I joined my current fleet. So I had that going into it. So when I got the artifact, when I got into the fleet, I already had the artifact, so I could staff it right away, but I didn't know who to put on. So to this day, I'm still like, I grabbed, so, like, for example, the newest crew, like Kavach, the General Kavach.
Ooh,
he
Klingon.
I wish I knew more Klingon off the top of my head, although I've been told I have a great accent for it.
How about Aksu and Melota? Everyone knows that one.
Melota!
See?
Yes. He is with honor.
So I'm still playing around with which crew gives me the best damage. I'm still discovering that. And even with all of the work I did on Data Core, and a lot of that ship battle Data Core came from the frustration in here and straight out of right onto the keyboard, because I was like, oh my gosh, there's no ability to do anything with ships in Data Core. So like the very first thing I set out to do was to add the ship filters to the crew roster that you got now. So, but yeah, and it's good that I am in the OPA, which is the sister fleet to the IPA, because it's more laid back and there's far fewer active players. So we can just hit the boss and hit the boss and hit the boss without worrying about, giving people the opportunity to make, maximum damage.
One thing I've got to say about fleet boss battles is, that meme where it's like the kid in the high school yearbook where it's like Daniel and then the cooler Daniel underneath. You have shuttles, like, they're whatever. A lot of vets don't even run them anymore because they don't need materials. They don't want to check their game every 3 hours. Fleet boss battles is the cooler shuttles where you get better rewards. There's more like involvement in terms of figuring out nodes and stuff, and you're still checking it every 3 hours. So I guess because of the dev sweat equity put into shuttles, they're not going to like remove systems unless they become a big problem in the future. But they basically replace shuttles in a way, and obviously you're getting different drops. But I like that they did that without making you check in, I don't know, every 20 minutes or whatever. You can still keep on the same kind of schedule.
Speaking
yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you had, I think you were trying to ask me something a little bit earlier. You were following up on.
I think I was just going to segue and say, well, since we're talking about the data core, do you want to talk to us a little bit about what you've been doing with the data core in the last few months? Because you've kind of taken a big step up in terms of like adding features and running it behind the scenes. Do you want to sort of, because there's been a big data core 2.0 update recently, has there as well? So I don't know if you wanted to talk about it for those people that aren't unaware.
The one that is in production right now is 1.9. The beta core, if you know about beta. If you know about the beta site, that's 2.0. And 2.0 is much deeper refactor. We're going into the entire stack. We're going into the bot. We're going into the site server. We are transitioning away from SQLite to MongoDB. We are getting the stack in a much more formalized state to deploy it. Because it's data core is much more than a website. There's like 7 or 8 different people. I mean, like, you open one door and there's another door behind it and there's more data core. So we're working on the last release was mostly on the website. The next release is going to be all encompassing. We upgraded the bot and we are adding new features to the bot. We are fixing some long broken features. One thing we did to the bot just last week that I did after discovering the magic formula was finished adding all the new dilemmas to the bot. So all of the new dilemmas that came out for the post 12-hour dilemmas are in the bot now, so you can query it and get the correct rewards. There's no automated process to get them from the wiki, so we have to do it by hand. Just like there's a couple of other.
You put this data core is hand molded, handcrafted, is artisan dilemma choices.
Well, a lot of it is automated now, and big shout out to No Name Namer, without whom much of what we do would not be possible. And a big shout out to all the other team players. There's a whole bunch of people that mined the data core system, and there are some that don't even play the game anymore. But they are
those poor bastards.
Well, I like to see them as they're disinterested third parties, and they're very responsible individuals. So
gracious.
They're very, very professional. Everybody in data core is very professional. Namer, John Jay. There's Silas Airy and a couple of and of course Joshua Tree. He's definitely in there. He's the one that's actually putting together the data core stack, the Docker Compose stack that we are transitioning to. And then of course there's Bam. That's just his name in Discord. I'm not exactly sure, but he's basically he keeps he keeps the entire thing going.
One of the top 2 Irishmen associated with this game.
Yes, and one of the best named person with a cuss in their name. I think.
Well, you guys are kind of reaching on this one.
I did like shitty Frank for a while, but that was unassociated to me.
For podcast listeners, the poll, are you a Fleet Boss Battles fan? 2/3 of the respondents are honor hamsters on the hamster wheel, and 1/3 are no-name noders. So thank you for doing the nodes for the rest of us lazy people. Now, Irony, I've heard whispers that Data Core with the next release are going to be adding a neural interface that slips over the head and connects to the eyeballs so that we don't need to have any manual inputs in order to update our roster. Is that true?
It's a side project. It's not official yet.
Okay.
We've got a few electrodes, when I'm
testing those delta waves.
You've got some timelines players hooked up to electrochemical nodes in the back room, and you keep shocking them until it works.
Like, I'm pretty sure this is how we make the Matrix. It's all started with the data core, didn't it?
Yeah, you're going to upload your data, and then it's just going to suddenly you're a character in your own game. What are you going to do? You buff your stats like a voodoo doll.
Tell us about what other things you're kind of working on with the data core at the moment, because I know other people sort of kind of go on. I mean, I'm sure there's this facet of people that sort of go on, do their voyages, get their Voyage rostering go off and they check their retrieval, things like that. Is there anything else that kind of like in the works or something else you might be interested for the player base? Because I think like along with the big book, like the data core is probably like the number one essential tool for every timelines player, you know, for those that actually want to play the game properly other than relying on in-game assets, which is a terrible idea.
Well, we are slowly transitioning away from old, unmaintained code by people who came and went, some of them gently, some of them in infamy. And we are, well, you know the story, so I'm not going to say anything.
Someday we're gonna blow open wide the seedy underbelly of Star Trek Timelines and expose all the cheaters and hackers and alternate accounts, and you guys will be here for Drama Talks 100.
Weirdly enough, I won't because I will be in prison. Sorry, Carol.
Wait, hold on.
You had your trial.
Are you the only one who's been
trial.
banned? Are you the only one who's been publicly banned out of all of us, Idle?
Maybe. Nifty, did you get banned? Did you do what I did?
No.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I apparently did N-1 on that one because I did not. I lightly abused it, but I did not get banned.
I was actually retired. I was retired during buy again. However, I was patient 0 in number 1 offender of the ID4 exploit.
Oh, the ID4, yeah.
And I didn't get banned for it because I had a complete accounting of my sins that I turned into Shan. Shout out Shan, and said, "Hey, here's 100,000 dilithium. I ran through and laundered through various things. I have supply kits running for 2 years.
You're the canary,
all kinds of stuff." Yeah. They didn't do anything.
Testing. He was testing the exploit so he could report it properly.
It was a Tuesday pack. I was trying to get the crew and it wasn't dropping. Nothing has changed apparently.
So, Fleet Boss battles. It's interesting because we're talking about that. One of the new features, and I really wish John had come because he could speak much more to it. Fleet Boss battle node whipper collaboration. So we have on our off site a working version of this right now, where if you are whipping a chain and somebody else in your fleet wants to share the duties, you click on this collaboration and it automatically populates. Not only that, but only one of you has to actually update the chain from Star Trek Timelines, and everybody else will get the new chain automatically.
That's very useful. That's very cool.
So that's one feature we are working on. Another feature is live tracking voyages. So we're not going to be just doing voyage estimates anymore. We're going to be redoing the Hall of Fame to use real voyage data from real completed voyages and to make progress. All of this is possible because of our big database upgrades, because SQLite just wasn't cutting it anymore. The SQLite database is way past what can be considered normal usage. I looked. I think the total size is 998 gigabytes. Terrible. Almost. Hold up. Let me look at this size.
Some numbers. Some numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember hearing about SQL or SQL like back in the Windows 3.1 days. So like this is. I think a lot of things have moved on in those days since then.
I go to the bar and order a SQLite.
1.12 gigabytes. So that's the
1.21 gigawatts.
Yes, gigawatts.
As Walt says, a non-trivial amount of bytes.
Yeah, there's 9 million voyage estimates. Is what we call. That's the all-time voyage estimates. Now. Speaking of numbers, do you want some statistics?
Sure. Love a good number.
Okay, so DataCore gets 15,000 unique visitors a month.
Wow.
And if you discount the bots, we'd say, if we're generous, we'll say 2,000, 3,000 of them are bots. That still leaves 11,000, 12,000 individual unique visitors, users.
There's no way this game has that many players. No. This game has like 40 people playing it.
There's about 1,000 people that upload their data a month. So I don't know. Wow. But like, yeah. But over the last year, there's been like So people don't upload their data as much as they actually use the system. So they'll go to use the system, but they won't post their profile. They won't share their profile. So that number and that number are very far apart. But we have about 3,000 profiles in the system.
For anyone that wants to know how to do that as well, when you upload your data file, there'll be a little button that says share your profile, and you'll get a nice little page you can share to other people and share with the data core. And obviously you have all the data protection thingies up somewhere. I believe there was that discussion a while back.
Right. So the numbers, the 15,000 number is actually something I got from one of our infrastructure people. They pulled the data. And so I was actually surprised by that number too. I was like, really? Because I looked at the profiles. So there's 3,000 in there. Only about 1,000 have been updated in the last year. And I'd say about 500-600 get updated every month. Which, that's a lot of people. But the inflow, the traffic to data core is consistently much higher and much more surprising, like eye-opening, definitely. And then we don't have the ability to track who goes to beta core, so it could even be more. But we do get a lot of unique human foot traffic, thousands and thousands of people. So it's interesting. You and I were chatting earlier about the implications of all that with regard to how well the game may or may not be doing. So these are numbers. If there is a lot of web scrapers, bot traffic, and everything, and it's hard to weed them out, but we can, assume that most of these numbers are here.
KellyPlanet.com.
I wonder where they get their information.
Nasty cold. I'm sorry.
Anyway, sorry. Irony writ. Please continue.
Well, that was it. So okay. So next feature, we are finally tackling the citation optimizer, which is not so great.
Finally, that thing's trash.
Yes. Not only that, we're giving you the ability to dictate what's important.
Ooh.
If you want collections, we'll bring those to the top. If you want cheapest to max, we'll bring those to the top.
Weight sliders, I love that idea.
Yes, we have weight sliders, and they're already in beta core. You can actually go there, and if you go to the citation
have you got a link for beta core, just for people who want to see it?
We have a permanent beta link now, beta.datacore.app. That will always be the latest beta.
There you go. I've popped it in chat.
It's very jarring. If you've never been to the beta, it's very jarring because we have completely redone the user interface. So it'll be quite a shock to your system.
Have a look. No, it sounds excellent. I mean, it sounds like sort of real sort of progress, because I know there was a push about a year or so ago to get a few like refinements with the data core, with like things like, when you have a voyage, it will tell you where on what skill set and what how far down the list they are and how many taps you need to get to your ship and things like that. So it's cool. I'm really happy that there's like a lot of work being done to this interface, because like this is the kind of stuff that should be in the game, because it's a very technical game. Like there are things you need to know, like how voyages work and like what crew are best to cite. Because I was literally talking to someone today in a chat and trying, guiding them, because I've obviously about my spreadsheets, and I was guiding through saying this is what you need to look at in terms of how the game works. Look at your triplets. Don't ignore just like big numbers. Like don't worry about big bases and things like that. You need to look at the things the game doesn't tell you. And they were like, there's like, holy shit, my mind's blown. Like I've been considering citing Empress Giorgio, and you're telling me that I could cite Reunion, Spock and Kirk, and they're better. I'm like, yeah. So no, it's like because of tools like that.
That's another feature that's in beta core right now. The collection optimizer. I finally wrote the thing, so it'll get all your crew together and tell you which crew you need to bang out to get all of these different collections solved. So it gives you like...
You've just invalidated one of my spreadsheets, but that's fine.
I was going to say, you're putting idle out of work very quickly here.
Fine, I
don't know that it's right. I mean, like, I did work, but I did math. Is it the same math? I mean, everybody's got different math.
Yeah,
there's more than one
true.
way to skin a cat. No, but well, then I definitely could adapt some of your equations.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I'll have a look.
I didn't realize. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I do it as a hobby. I don't know. I think it was back in the early days, like when I first made my data core analysis sheet, and I was doing the things like calculating. Ms. Mittens, I was calculating like how much honor it would take for you to complete your crew and things
Hi, Caitlin.
like that. Yeah.
And one other thing I want to mention that's really cute is in the voyage we have themed voyages where you can pick themes that John and I have spent, like I said, many dark and stormy nights just inventing ways to categorize and group crew so that we could invent these themes. So you can actually pick a subset of your roster to go on a voyage, regardless of how good it might be.
That's cool.
So, like, if you wanted to put top gauntleters, you could pick the moonlighting theme. If you wanted to pick, like, crew that only appeared in vanity collections, you could pick the Vanity Fair theme. Or crew that you can find, crew that consists of, like, well, you can't do only vanity collections, but crews that are part of vanity. And then, of course, we have themes for all of the current collections, and then a whole bunch of other customized themes that you can go and look at yourself. Depending on your roster, you may be able to achieve getting crew on some of them, all of them. Depends on how deep your roster is and how big the pool for the theme is. But it's so that's an experimental feature, but it's really cute.
That's fun.
It's kitsy.
All the fun things. I know with, like, used to have, like, when I was back in 10F, and they used to have, like, voyage competitions and things like that. It's like, give me a voyage with only crew from TNG or like DS9 Season 6 and things like that, and see who gets the longest voyage. And, like, they were fun things to do, and I think it's things like that are kind of missing in the game a little bit.
Fun in my game?
Hell no.
There is always Warful. Remember that.
Warful. Yeah, we have forgot about Warful. Is Wordle still a thing? Do people still do Wordle?
I don't know, but I know people still do Warful.
Oh,
I know
cool.
Bernard does Warful. Bernard is a fleet mate of mine. Yes. And Roy Kirk, the famous Roy Kirk, is also a fleet mate of mine.
12-hour Voyager himself.
Yes.
The pioneer.
But not a 14-hour Voyager, though. What a... Oh.
Well, we don't know. Actually,
Do we still only have one of those?
I think we've got
There's only one of those
now.
3 or 4. Yeah.
Oh.
Slapco was the first, and I think there's been a few. You can check the 12-hour voyage leaderboard somewhere. I'll find the link. I'll put it in chat.
So, for the modest amount of praise that we've heaped on WRG so far this stream, one of
Too
their
much, some would say.
Don't worry, I'll fix that. One of their long-term shortcomings has been the complete lack of support for third-party tools. In fact, when Fleet Boss Battles launched, Ben did a shared his screen as he was going through stuff and shared chat in which the devs said, we can't have players relying on what are they called?
Oh, God.
Unsanctioned third-party tools.
Unsanctioned third-party
I'm like,
tools.
bro, what do you think your game is built on at this point? Like, as of 5 years ago, people have been using these constantly, especially your highest spenders. So, shout out to WRG Matt, who actually did share, I guess, some API changes that have helped Big Book, Datacore, and others with certain features. But it's like, guys, the third-party tools and communities like Discord and like us on Twitch are the lifeblood of your community. So
I think
it's always good to see support, and so shout out to Matt for that.
Definitely. I think if there weren't these third-party tools and these people work on this game, which we all do it because of the love of Star Trek, at the end of the day, like, if there wasn't this, if they said, no, you're not allowed to use Discord, that's banned from this, or Datacore, you get, like, a hit with a legal suit, and then for some reason, but I think that the game would die. Like, you would not have a game without these tools. Like, it would be...
And I think that they're aware of that. Namer just mentioned, he did mention multi-vector assault. We do have new experimental feature. Peak antimatter. The peak antimatter feature will put crew to max out your antimatter. No matter how good they are, it will try to pick the best crew that will actually fill the antimatter seat. And I've actually gotten some pretty good voyages so far with peak antimatter. Purpose of peak antimatter is for when you plan to absolutely extend it, like you're going past 12, 14. You want that antimatter refresh to be as big as it can be when you do that extension. And that was the reason for the development of peak antimatter. Thank you, Namer, for reminding me of that.
Quick question for you from a shadow child. How come the data core unloads my voyage suggestions whenever I tilt my phone?
Well, then don't tilt it. Come on, install this.
Okay, so what happened was we upgraded how data core is how the data is seen by the components from the top down, and whatever we like. And she says it didn't used to happen, but I am not quite so certain whether or not it did, or if we hadn't noticed it before. But it does not happen on Android devices. It happens on iOS, and I have to break out an iPad and go bug hunting to see if I can figure out a solution for that. What basically happens is when you tilt, it forces a re-render because you are changing. It's got to change the layout. It's got to respond to those layout changes, and the re-rendering, for whatever reason, is clearing out some of that ephemeral data. Yes, it is a bug. Yes, we are aware of it, and yes, we will try to definitely have it fixed in the version 2.0 release.
Awesome. Thank you for responding to that. Anything
better question response than WRG?
Okay. There it is.
Eric Nelson says tilting point. Yes, absolutely. That's the name of the company. Any other things going on with the data core before we move on to our next subject? Anything else you want to sort of bring our attention to? No? Okay. You still there, Rich?
He's a Timeline Talks vet already. Yeah. All right, now you talk.
He's already ignoring me.
Man.
Okay, anyway, let's move on. Okay.
Bad joke, I was ignoring you.
Yeah, sorry.
One of these days we're going to play Streamer Chicken and see how long one of us can go without responding to Idle until he legit thinks it like there's something wrong with the settings.
The bonus is I have wonderful amount of monitoring, so I can see where all the audio is going. So nice try. Anyway, okay, let's talk about equipment. So we have spoken about it before, but I thought we'd do a little bit of an update for people that aren't sure, haven't sort of kind of got the messaging, because there's been very little.
You got it, Cranky.
Very little messaging been gone out about equipment. There's been some text here and there, but we thought we'd break it down a little bit more. So I'm going to field a little bit of a question, a little bit of a scenario to Nifty. Nifty, what do you know about continuum missions and equipment?
Well, I know that
on your final grades, by the way.
Permanent record.
Yeah. I actually don't remember as much about the missions. I do recall that they your crew doesn't exhaust like they do in the events that shall not be named. However, as you earn your equipment, these equipment are at least semi-unique items that can be applied to different crew of different levels. They are temporary buffs, but they can be extremely powerful. So some of the ones that are geared towards some of the lower tier crew can actually make them briefly. I don't remember if it's like 4 days, a week. As strong as some of the normal Voyagers, the usual suspects. So it sounds like, we may be able to have some very intriguing Voyage matchups or sudden superstars in, say, a faction event, because it boosts your base skill by a lot.
So what the general premise is there will be continuum missions, which are going to be away team missions that you can run, and these are very hard. They are going to be, we know, skills well in the thousands that you will run to get equipment, which is the worst name ever, because I sound like I'm talking Southern. Get me some equipment. You will run these missions.
Sounds like you're from Illinois.
Oh yeah, probably. I don't know. Is that Texas?
No, it's not in the South. We've been over this.
You will run these away team missions to get.
About to make a real bad joke, so thank you for continuing to.
You ain't from around these parts, are you, boy?
By the way, we are going to have equipment watch when that first launches. Mm-hmm. And since we talked to the BRG about this, we said if you can make them on a week time scale, then we can tell people which voyages they should boost on Timeline Talks, and then check in with them next week and see how they're doing. So that's how the 1 week came about. But I think we'll have fun with community feedback on that one.
So yeah, you'll run these away missions for equipment, which are pieces of equipment that you can attach to immortalized crew. and they have to be immortalized to make them better. One thing that was pointed out to me the other day was actually talking about Gauntlet, because you're going to have to cite some of that Gauntlet crew, because I didn't realize, like, oh yeah, a lot of them are at 1 star because that's all you need to make them good. But things like Admiral Black, like, Christ, I'm going to need get my Admiral Black to 5 stars and then put some equipment on them to be competitive.
Easy.
Yeah, of course.
First, you need them to drop before you spend 200,000 on them.
Well, those of us who have been a little extra lucky in the goal. How you doing, Frank?
I have a card. Pick a card.
Do they all just say variant of fuck you on the back
Oh,
yeah, there it is.
For Povcast listeners, I just showed Idol my middle finger.
And what a wonderful middle finger it was. A sturdy middle finger. Anyway, so yes, you will get these
Hold on,
equipment.
can you do the forum goer impression again, Frank?
Well, it would be nice if you would, like, make Gauntlet exclusives and Voyage exclusives drop a little bit more, because, I send these 8-hour voyages and I've been playing for 2 years, and, it's just more fair if I can have more chance, because the game is just hard for me to compete. And, these guys don't drop, and now I've got to spend money and I don't appreciate it, and you don't answer and you don't come to your forums. And bold word.
This started as a joke, but I'm starting to feel personally attacked, because I actually would like some of those things to happen. So.
Oh, my word.
Just saying, they could raise the drop rates a little bit.
I mean, irony, you're just sitting there just like, what have I just walked into?
Oh, I was thinking I'm only missing 2 exclusive crew. I'm missing First Flight Archer and the one-way ticket chapel. I've got everybody else.
Oh, wow. Congrats. Yeah. Congrats. An achievement. But yes, these equipment that you will earn through awaiting missions have different rarities, and those different rarities can be applied to different crews. And they'll have different lengths how they apply to you. I think some last 1 day, and the sort of gold ones, they'll last a week. I was talking to Genos about this the other day and saying, I don't mind that they're temporary, if I'm honest, because that kind of gives a bit more life into the feature. I think if they were permanent, you do awaiting missions and equipment like once, and then you would ignore the feature forever. And for one, like, I remember the early game. Like, the early game was probably one of my favourite moments in the game. That's why we start Nightmare accounts, is because I like playing the awaiting missions and going through and solving the nodes with the crew I have and working out where the best strategy is. So I'm kind of excited for that. I don't know how you guys feel.
I like it. I like the concept. I don't know if, one, they're jumping the gun, because, like, you don't want to devalue their 5-star crew, the golds that they pump up. They're like, oh, get this exclusive, blah, 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 blah. Invest, and this is your powerful crew. Then you equipment some 2-star, and it just leaps right over that very valuable 5-star you had. And I hope that they strike the right balance, because I would not like to see that happen. I think that you should be rewarded for sticking through it. I mean, I don't know. I've been playing the game since launch. So, I mean, and I finally just made it to level 99. So there's something to be said for the value of the perseverance of it all. You don't want that experience to be diminished, with what they said that they're changing the meta, and I'm like, wait and see. I'm like, how badly are you going to do this changing the meta thing? Like, how badly is this going to be?
We'll soon find out.
So manually running missions is hit or miss. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people hated that aspect of expeditions. Some didn't like them for another reason. Some like it just because it's not the tedium of pressing the exact same buttons 1 million times in a skirmish. So there's a little bit hit or miss. Temporary busts for me, I don't like at all. I think part of the reasons why collections have been such a big success and people chasing those crew is you have time to acquire all 5 stars or 4 stars on your crew, and by the time you immortalize them, they're still relevant because of collections, and you can get boosts for a long time, and you can feel your roster grow over that, where this may be a little bit more treadmill-y. Obviously, we don't know everything yet, but so those 2 things for me personally have me trepidatious quite a bit. But given the last 3 major features, I would say skirmishes, which was back in 2018, retrieval, and then fleet boss battles have all been pretty damn successful, pretty damn nice to the average low spending player too. So given their track record with big features, I'm obviously going to reserve judgment. But what I would like to see is something beyond just temporary boost dropping, because like I said, that isn't for everyone. So maybe they include some sort of skirmish style loot box where you can get dilithium or chronotons or honor, or maybe one of the more exclusive drops in is this big potent buff that you can use in events. So, we don't know enough to speculate too much, but that is our business, and that's why we're on the show talking about it. So that is one thing I'd like to see, is a little bit of diversity in the rewards, so that even if people don't want one specific thing, they're still tempted, encouraged, incentivized to run these manual missions and participate in the system.
Yeah, I think I'm going to disagree, opinion only, obviously, with you a little bit on the temporary
Where's
thing.
the ban button?
Civilized men here.
I think I like the idea of the temporariness only because, as someone who falls victim to FOMO quite easily in this game, it's nice that you can kind of pick and choose. Like, I'm just going to earn a few buffs because there's this one event maybe I want to push in. But then I do agree with you too. Like, I think there should be some sort of long-term reward, repeated reward. So like you said, like if the players that really grind this out, hey, like good for them. I want them to be able to earn like some decent kickbacks besides just temporary equipment. So I think if it turns out that it's something like that, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, I feel like, my concern at the moment is how much the meta is going to change and how people, newer players especially, are going to be unaware. Like, this is going to fuck Gauntlet even harder. Like, Gauntlet is already pretty bad because of the people that do have Admiral Black and the people that do have the top crew. Like, you speak to anyone that has just started the game and they look at Gauntlet, and there's been a few people and they go like, how does anyone win anything? How do I get this crew? And it's like, you just got to get lucky. And then you might get lucky with Armus. And then even so, Armus is a bit old hat these days. Like, everything is against you in Gauntlet unless you have been playing for the last 6 years, or you have got the cash to just go, open loads of packs and get me like all the good crew. So this is going to make that even worse by people that are just going to put the boosts on Locutus, who are going to put the boosts on who's the other one? Archer or Power Ransom and things like that. It's going to be a wall of hate. It literally is. It's going to be very hard.
That's also why I like the temporary part. I was saying, because it's temporary, people aren't just permanently extending their Gauntlet crew above you even more. If they choose to grind out equipment every week, and there's a poll out in chat, then hey, awesome. But
poll up in chat. What's the poll also?
I'm going to subscribe to get us to stop talking, and then I can drop in what I need to say.
You did subscribe. You subscribed earlier.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah, wait a minute, you phony.
What a waste that was.
This man's a phony.
Are you excited for continuum missions? Please poll up now. I am excited. I like away missions. I've started noding. Because
what?
I know what the fuck.
Come back to GVP, you bastard.
Nah. I've started noting because I'm kind of preparing myself for like, I'm going to have to unfreeze this crew for this thing and this thing. So I thought, well, if I'm going to get in that mindset. But now I actually know noding with like working with the fleet, it's kind of fun because it's kind of a little bit of interactivity with the game that, what like Auto says, isn't just going, right, I do my dailies, press that, run my voyage, wait 2 hours, claim the voyage, blah, 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 do my dailies, blah, blah, blah. And it feels like it's a little bit more of a game, which is something that I like. I like a game, especially in.
If only someone had told you this earlier, a while ago.
For people like us, the metagame is the game. Doing the spreadsheets, doing the third-party websites, and theorizing is like as fun or more fun than the game itself.
Yeah,
ahead,
Datacore. When I started working in Datacore, this opened up because before this was just like a hobby. I hadn't joined a fleet. I'd played solo for many years. Well, I had a fleet, but it was a very small fleet. It was just, well, it was me and Adarai K, who's another fleet mate. He's got his own stream, and this isn't really his game anymore. He's much more into the Xbox and the shoot 'em ups and the truck soccer, whatever that that you play soccer with trucks. What's it called?
Rocket League.
Rocket League. Yeah.
Rocket League.
Soccer with trucks. I love that.
Oh, it's great fun.
So yeah, he plays some truck soccer. But when I found Datacore and then I joined the IPA, it was like an entire 6, 7, 8 new dimensions of like keeping me like busy and distracted, like just totally coming at me from. I was like very, very happy to be tinkering.
Get your kids into coding; they'll never need drugs. It'd be cheaper.
I can't say that. I can't say that there's not any truth to that. I'll sit here till 2, 3 in the morning banging out code on.
It happens.
So, Nifty, in agreement with what you said about the temporary stuff, as a big former altaholic, someone who likes to make new accounts and experience that power curve early on and collect crew and whatnot, when Fleet Boss Battles hit, I was kind of, not so enthused because I thought, oh, now I'm going to be locked out of progress. I'm going to have to bug my fleet mates. Hey, can you do these lower bosses so I can try to catch up? And I thought, well, now I guess I got to stick with this account. So once they made the decision, well, we're just going to stick with one bridge and extend rewards, that sort of eased that pressure. So the boss being temporary, again, is another way to sort of soften the blow of veterans completely dominating places, PvP places like Gauntlet or Arena, which they may still do, probably still will do anyways, but it does sort of ease that burden on new players, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank, talk to me about a fun new deal that's hit the... well, everyone talked to me about this, but the fun new deal that has now hit the stores. For those talking of Fleet Boss Battles, the meta hasn't changed. Be aware it is still the artifact, and if you're lazy and you just go auto, it is the artifact. If you get more involved, I believe there is a whole Fleet Boss Battles Discord you can join to get some manual and get those extreme scores out. But if you are the rest of us who just want an easy time, the artifact is still the de facto ship to get for Fleet Boss Battles. Please, guys, tell me about this new deal and portal offer there is for the artifact schematics and other things that have just turned up. Is this a sign from WRG? They're kind of throwing their hands up and going, yeah, we know. There it is.
You have to tell us in falsetto, too. No, just kidding. No.
I was just going to go to the toilet, but I'm not missing this.
I'll do it in a different voice. I'll do it in an Illinois voice. Hey, these people have been asking for 2 years in Q&As for this artifact, some kind of ship, and we made it an arena reward, and they didn't like it, so because we went to the forums and they're,
hey, we need more artifact schematics because you put it in the arena, but I can't keep up because it resets at midnight and then I get dropped down immediately because you can attack level 714 and it makes you number 1 when you win, and it's kind of silly, and then I lose out on 30 schematics a day, and that adds up.
You thought about auditioning for Morty and Rick and Morty.
They actually have a new voice actor officially announced.
I saw that.
Is this Illinois, Alabama that you're calling in from?
It is very
Alabama.
Good. Anyway, if
for
you like
podcast listeners, are you excited for? My turn to interrupt. Are you excited for continuum missions? 58% say they haven't seen enough yet. 42% say yes, they trust WRG's track record.
Ooh,
well,
that's new. That's
Look, I editorialized. They only had one yes option, so I get to put words in their mouth. Go ahead, Frank.
This company used to have a track record too, and then it tracked right off the ditch and on fire. So, if you have an artifact, but now keep in mind, it takes a lot of schematics. It takes like almost 5,000 schematics, maybe 5,200, something, who's counting, to take a ship from level nothing to level 10, where it's really, truly viable. So if you have an artifact or you've got money burning a hole in your pocket and you don't know what to do, and you're like, gee, what can I do with this money? And then the little angel on your shoulder pops up and says, give it to charity. And then the devil pops up and says, no, give it to WRG. And you're like, well, really, aren't they the same? You too can help out a poor man named Ben by buying 1,000 schematics for the artifact, which will get you maybe 2 levels, maybe not even a level, and like 10 Valium for the fleet boss battles, so you can attack it more, which is like really cool. And you can buy it 3 times. Now, if they were smart, they would have made it purchasable 5 times. That way, a brand new player could spend $50 and get the entirety of an artifact. It would be enough to take them from 0 to hero. But no, they're not that smart. They only made it purchasable 3 times. So you can, in fact, not do it. They blue ball you, to which they point you to the portal to where there's a ship pack from an old skirmish to where you can buy schematics hoping to get a drop of the artifact. So let's recap this. Spend $30 for 3,000 schematics and 30 Valium, and then you go over to the portal where you need to spend about 10,000 roughly. It's on sale, 8,000 to 10,000 dilithium to get the rest of the schematics you need to take your artifact up. If you just did any of the above, I want you to go outside right now and find a way to kick yourself in your own ass, because that was pointless. It's great that they're trying. I give them a point out of 100 for trying, because they've heard the cries of the masses saying, hey, there's this one ship that we need to progress. Sure, you give us the constellation, which is great, but we have to progress to this point. Lots of fleets are stuck at 13. I need the ship to do it. I need a way to get the artifact. And they said, sure, I'll let you buy half of it. So could have been better, but if you need it, it's out there.
What was it, like a 10% chance at an artifact in that pack?
Oh yeah, if you go pull the 290 dilithium one, it's
I think the funniest thing about that pack is they put it in with the Jaeger, which is the most horrific starship design in all of Star Trek. It's just like you could get
the worst.
Fuck you.
That and the Enterprise J. Fight me.
I've got a soft spot for the Enterprise J. I don't mind.
But it's so small. That's what she said, and it should be like the size of my screen. And
it's not what she said, apparently.
So this reminds me of back when Polywater Yar came out, which I think was 2018 or 2019. Very powerful. No, it must have been 2019. Powerful for ship battles. 400% damage at 2 seconds. People put 4 of them on the ships, killed people before they could react. They're like, oh, this is terrible. They have to do something. And then they did something by nerfing her with the server changeover. So the literal second she was no longer on sale, they nerfed her. And they're like, yep, sucks to be you. So people got upset. Like, even for forums, they were upset. And lots of tickets were put in. They're like, oh, we want you to do something about this. A lot of people said, all right, if you swap it for Captain Killy, another really good, the preeminent arena crew at the time, they said, all right, if you swap her for Captain Killy, we'll be placated. And DB dug in their heels. They're like, no, we're not going to do that. We'll refund you dilithium or whatever. And this drug on for like 2 months. People were still angry about this, putting in tickets. They finally relented and said, okay, if you want to swap, they even put out like a communique. If you want to swap her for Killy, you can put in a ticket. We'll do that. This feels like a rehash of that, where they're a little bit late to the party, realizing what everyone really wants. And so now that Fleet Boss Battles is like a year old, they're like, all right, come get your artifacts. So when that LTO hit popped up on the screen, I just about died laughing, because I'm like, oh, well, they finally realized what everyone wants, and they figured out a way to monetize it. So,
well, at one point, wasn't it the monthly reward for Arena?
Yeah.
Like shortly after. Yeah.
They must have finished analyzing the data from that just this week and decided to put that offer up.
I'm not a game dev, obviously, but I play one on TV. But I've got to think, if I'm sitting there and my studio is shrinking and I'm trying to figure out a way to make my product profitable, because at the end of the day, they are a for-profit company and I want them to have jobs. I like Ben. I want them to do well. I like the game. I would put things on sale as much as possible, because this is not a PvP game outside of like one little bullshit thing, Arena. It's not Star Trek Fleet Command.
Next time someone gets a first to max, Frank, I'm going to remind you that's not a PvP game, so don't worry about it.
I will never get a first to max again, sir.
Bullshit.
But I mean, why wouldn't you just sell everything? Open the flood doors, make it Spatula City. Let me come buy every spatula I could possibly need for graduations, weddings, bar mitzvahs, anything. instead of waiting a year, to your point, and then saying, oh, hey, by the way, you remember that time your cousin had a wedding and a birthday at the same day and you didn't have a gift? Here's a chance to buy a gift. It's like, well, that was a year ago and they don't talk to me anymore because I showed up like a schlum with nothing. So, but we're gonna instead, put out a Tuesday pack where you have a 1 in 200 chance of getting the crew. That's a story for a different day. That's more important.
Oh.
What I wonder is whether they've realized or not that Artifact was the best ship for FBB when they released it, or if they've realized it after the fact.
I think very much after the fact, because
they underestimate the community's ability to figure this shit out.
Literally.
If they knew, they would have monetized, and look no further than Cheesecake 7, who, when they introduced that crew in a pack, they also put Mobile Doctor on sale for cash only at the same time. So when they know, they will try to extract cash, which is completely fair, as a company. That's what they should be doing. But if you thought the Artifact was bad, how about a 500 crew mixed behold that you have to try to dive into to get a new crew?
Hey.
That's barely an exaggeration.
Stole your segue there.
Great segue. Let's talk about... Hey, Frank, it's your favourite topic. It's Mixed Behold. I need to have a trigger for this. We should have a Mixed Beholds trigger, or something like that plays. Maybe it's like mariachi, very, very mariachi-like. But yes,
I think it's just the sound of Frank crying.
We are fixing the Mixed Behold for the bot, because right now there's too many crew for the bot to list in the Mixed Behold, so it crashes. So we have created a fix. It's going to sort the crew descending order from the most recent release date, and then it's going to give you the first 25, and then it's going to say, 289 more, ... and then, lead you on. We're probably also going to add an offer page to DataCore.
Cool.
To go along with this.
That's cool.
To the bot.
Commander Wolf in chat just announced that the DNA sheet 6.12 has just been published. So for the guys people are enthused by that is now out there.
That is the do not airlock sheet.
Indeed,
for
very good for new players. Very good for new players.
Yeah, biologists, calm down. Wrong DNA.
No.
But yes,
Ancestry.com.
Yeah, they won't talk to me anymore. Anyway, Captain Rudolph Ransom is in the desperate Mixed Behold. Allegedly, he is somewhere in that pack of however many desperate crew there are. I have come up with a new name for these packs. I'm just going to call them the Mixed Befuck You, because there's no chance you're going to get this crew. Like, do you remember this? This takes me back to the Eevee Suit Tuvok. Which wasn't even a gold crew, that was a blue crew. Like, Mixed Beholds are generally terrible, but when you look at something like the Primal pack, where there's like 10 crew in it, you're thinking, that's not bad, that's okay, I don't mind doing that. Or maybe something like the Elysian Kingdom, or smaller packs. But when they just go, pick a trait, desperate, how many crew in it? 6 million. Let's put a new crew in there, and then they're not going to see him for like a year and a half until he's in the port.
Good luck.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. He did get immortalized fairly late after the pack went live. Frank, how long was it? Oh, first to max, sorry, not immortalized, but...
It was, hold on, and shout out to the old stalwart Andrew, who is a longtime first to maxer. He got first to max at 2:50 p.m. Central Standard Time, so roughly 4 hours.
Wow.
Which is what the last one was. It took 4 hours for somebody to light their money on fire.
He was nonstop opening packs the entire 4 hours until he got them.
I'd believe it. I would believe it.
I don't know if that's true. An exobiologist who is promoted to captain of a science ship after making first contact with the supposedly extinct Uridians. This is like the worst flavor text of all time. That has nothing to do with the famous two-parter he's from. Absolutely nothing.
Equinox for those.
And hold on, I have a haiku for this.
Oh yes, you've done haikus this week. Go for it.
Yeah. So Captain Rudolph Ransom, not part of the haiku.
Oh.
Not the big head one. It's Captain Rudolph Ransom from the Brutal Pack.
Very good. Very good.
If you could have worked in something about red noses, I think they really would have.
It's a brutal pack, not desperate.
Flowed
I thought
well.
it was desperate. It was brutal. No, sorry, I was misinformed there. So, we can excuse this if the crews are bad. This crew is okay. He is command side dip. like the everyman's skill set, but Voyage rank 17. But like you say, Equinox. God.
Hold on, he's brutal and desperate. Couldn't they have thrown him in both packs? They're equally massive. It's not like that would have helped anyone. People would have been pulling on both packs. You would have made more dilithium.
Could you imagine, like, they say, we heard your pleas about Ransom being in the Brutal Collection, so we made him mix Behold with the Desperate Collection. We put him in that as well.
With the human trait, yeah.
Oh, there will be a human collection one day. You bet there will. There's going to have to be at this rate. If we're getting this large collection, like Brutal, it's one of the largest, like, other than Resourceful, maybe, is the only other large one.
But Human Starfleet Federation pack.
If you look at the reward milestones, the permanent boosts are every other. So it's basically comparable to 1/2 its size, something like an Inspiring or whatnot. So it's really not out of line. It's just that the rewards are a little more spaced out.
That being said, Equinox is a great 2-parter episode. I love Equinox because... Do you not like it?
No, we were talking about this earlier. Someone, Nifty hadn't seen it yet, and I'm like, Janeway is the most Janeway.
Fake fan.
Janeway tries to kill other Starfleet officers, and Chakotay tries to hold her back, and then she fires him, relieves him from duty. She's like, no, I need to kill other Starfleet officers. That's like the most important thing to her. I'm not even lying. That's the episode. So
I was gonna write Ransom's note for the big book, but realizing that he's from Equinox, which I did. I'm not that much of a fake fan. I know it's a 2-parter. At the late hour at which I started this task, I was not watching both episodes to write his note. So, yeah, I did not do that last night.
Well,
what about Machine Man Paris?
Oh, we'll
get Machine Man Paris also needs a note. That's true.
We'll do. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Also, I really haven't watched Voyager. I know, fake fan.
So, be me.
I'm watching Enterprise, and it's after Enterprise. I promise.
That's good.
Brutal
it's on your list.
Second largest collection now.
Is it really? Wow.
Resourceful, Original Thinking, has 260 as its top milestone. Brutal, the second largest, with 200.
The funny thing is, Resourceful only had like 140 when it debuted, and then they're like, how can we add easy value to every crew, including those who are patently not resourceful? And they just put that on like 8 out of every 10 crew they printed.
That's the funny thing. That's the funny thing about that, because they spoke about that in the Q&A, and they were because they were talking about a trait audit, weren't they? And
they admitted it.
They admitted it. They admitted there were certain enthusiastic people that have put in a lot of work and maybe should be on staff with this kind of thing. But anyway, they said, like, yeah, well, this crew, they're a hardworking, determined member of their species. They should be resourceful. I'm like, that is everyone. Everyone in Star Trek is resourceful to some degree.
The Cabot janitor is vacuuming up tribbles. He's resourceful because he's doing his job.
Maybe he's the one that thought of vacuuming them up. Everyone else is like, what do we do?
Yeah.
So we kind of glossed over this, but they did say in the Q&A, someone asked about a trade audit, wasn't me. And they said, yeah, we know there's a big list on the forums, but we're going to fix this by adding more new traits to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they'll probably get wrong.
So, they're going to get them wrong.
About the Nancy Hetford, who was released a couple of weeks ago. She's wrong traits, wrong skill set. I was like, why even?
Oh, what traits do you think she should have? What traits does she have? Let me check the data core. Hey, hold on, I'm going to check the beta core.
Check Big Book.
How about Big Book? What the?
Because our guest here is from the data core, I'm going to check the data core. Come on.
I mean, I'm a guest by definition. Check the Big Book.
Check kellyplanet.com, bro.
Oh, yeah, fuck it. I'm checking Kelly Planet.
Go to CAB. Be a neutral, like, third party.
That's
somebody
good point. That's good point.
Yeah,
I forgot
Dan,
what I'm
are you
searching
still in
for
the
now, you
chat?
bitches. Right. So she's human, civilian, casual,
He's gonna check the
survivalist,
wiki.
desperate, resourceful, communicator, romantic.
There he is.
Definitely not casual, but they are fast and loose with that.
Yeah. Is this
And
Nancy
the
Hetford
top-
before or after the being has taken control of her? Why are we talking about Nancy Hetford? This is supposed to be a Captain Rudolph Ransom.
It's definitely before, but if they ever released another one, it should be like Possess Nancy Hetford, and the art should be her holding up her dress in front of the light, because that actually is one of the great shots in like all of Star Trek, where like you get to see what the world looks like through the being's eyes that inhabitates her. I really love that moment.
That's a good moment.
Remember when you said pre-show, I'm going to make this dirty joke now so I don't do any during the stream? You were this close, Idol. And I just kept talking because I didn't want you to say what you wanted to say.
Hey.
I'll give you a hint, folks. The color of his joke was blue.
Nifty, this isn't Sesame Street. The color of the week is blue. No,
I'm just going to keep plugging community tools in chat. So shout out to all you guys.
Today's Vallejo is 5.
Can I talk now? Can I talk? No, you talk. Anyway. Do you remember back when Equinox first aired back in 1990? No, when did Voyager air? 95. So this would have been about 98, 99, I think.
We don't let you talk, Idol.
Yeah, anyway. So you're watching Voyager, they're stranded out in the Delta Quadrant, and all of a sudden, holy shit, there's another Starfleet crew out there. Like, literally, I remember it being the most exciting thing because they had this brand new starship out there, the Nova class, which was a cool, fun little ship. Like, what were you guys... Do you remember, guys... Did you watch that live? Or do you remember watching it for the kind of first time? Like, what did you think about it?
I watched it live and I said, lazy writing. Of course there's going to be another starship and another Starfleet crew flung out by the caretaker. Of course.
I was excited to watch it brand new, and it is not exciting after brand new.
If they have 150 episodes to fill, I don't think it's too lazy that they do it once or twice.
They did it once, I think. There wasn't another time, was there?
No, they had like Klingons there. They had Romulan.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or Nifty, just say, Nifty says May 26, 1999. But you can say that. You're here. You can't just post into chat.
So, we didn't want to interrupt your favorite Voyager episode?
Ooh.
Is Equinox your favorite Voyager?
It's not, no. Year of Hell is my favorite two-part. Year of Hell is very good.
You basic male image.
It is a basic answer, but it's so fucking good. Because that's how Voyager should have been for the start. That was the Ronald D. Moore pitch, was it should actually be taking damage and get fucked up.
I've mostly just watched the Captain Proton episodes.
A man of culture.
I liked Night. Yeah, that's
Night's
one of my
a very
favorites.
Good one. Yeah, the season 5 opening.
I like Knight Rider.
I like Night
Well,
Boat.
if you like the episode Night, then you'll like a crew coming up this week. Nightless Neelix. From the episode Night.
I actually don't have him in my
I know. That was a segue for the hell of it.
That's true. I don't have a haiku. He's not on the list.
He's a crappy 4-star. You're going to get 4 copies. Freeze him. Fuck it.
So,
pull up in chat, folks. Let us know if the USS Voyager should have had a health bar over the ship for the duration of the series run.
Also, torpedo count.
Yeah, torpedo check. That's what we need to do on our Trek treks. We need to have a torpedo check. Torpedo and shuttle check. We'll do that. We'll start that. I'm not going to talk about the worth of Captain Ransom because this kind of feels to me the same kind of thing as EV Suit Boimler in that you're going to have to spend a shitload of cash to get him. So let's not rate him. Let's not talk about his use in Gauntlet or Voyagers or whatever. Because
literally,
hey, Namer, can we nuke him from the big book?
No.
Yeah, I think
2 people are going to have him until they
Sorry.
buy him off Dabo or Elusive Treasures. That's it.
Yeah,
so
that's all you
hold on. Here's a philosophical question. Would you have preferred an introduction in a 300 crew mixed behold or guaranteed for cash in the web store?
Do I have to choose? Can I just say neither?
Yes, you have to pick one. And chat, please chime in on this. If I wasn't doing a stupid Voyager poll, I would have pulled this as well because it's far more important.
I feel like I'm going to be sick.
Does this mythical web store that sells this mythical exclusive crew accept Zimbabwe dollars? Because if it does, I will buy it immediately for 100 Zimbabwe dollars.
Isn't that like...
Yeah, I think you're going to 100 trillion minimum cost there.
Hey, stop trying to inflate my shit, Canadian, okay? I'm offering 100.
Live
Dude,
from
if you call him a
Zimbabwe.
Mahdi, I'm banning you.
What?
A Mahdi, the best insult in all of Star Trek. I think props could be your gimmick, Frank. I think you do very well with props.
Thank you.
All right, no, but seriously, would you have rather a 300 crew mixed behold where you have like a 0.001% chance of ever seeing him, or spend $50 and you're guaranteed?
I can't decide on that because both just involve me going, nah, I'll wait for them to come into Portal. They're kind of both equally as bad.
You gotta, if you have to pick one, gun to your spreadsheet's head, and you had to pick one.
Maybe the Mixed Behold? I feel dirty saying that.
Here's the benefit of the Mixed Behold. And if I've got to take Frank 1 hat off and put Frank 2 hat on, or anybody else, there's a lot of usable crew in that Mixed Behold. There are good crew in that Mixed Behold right now. Very good crew. There's also really shitty crew in there. There's a lot of crew, period. So if you had dilithium money, whatever, to burn, chasing them, you're going to get something. The only time it's bad is if you're like suffering from this compulsory thing where you have to collect all the crew and always have them. And then there's this one that you just can't get no matter how hard you try or how much money you throw at the screen. That becomes a problem. And that's where you say, oh, I want the web store. But then everybody else wants to kill you and throw pitchforks at you when really they should be throwing pitchforks at the company for even putting you in this dilemma in the first place because it's a shitty choice. I'm going to actually say the Mixed Behold.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll agree because just depending on how far you are in the game, too, like there's still a potential to gain other things. As shitty as it may be, if you have a full roster and you still wish to do what someone maybe like Frank wants to do, but yeah, I think for the larger player base, it's unfortunately the lesser of two Weevils.
Their last 3 Mixed Behold packs have broken me. This one especially. I don't have them. I'm not going to get them. I won't get them. I'll wait till
Frank.
Yes, when Elusive Treasures comes around, I'll try, but I'm never doing it again. It's stupid.
So, Rit, what about you? If a crew came out that you really loved, would you rather see them in a 300 crew Mixed Behold or for cold hard cash on the web store?
If it was a crew I really loved, and there are degrees of this, so it all depends. I don't know that I would have bought Cowboy like Boimler, or what was EV Suit Boimler. That was the one that was web store only. I didn't even know the sale came and went, and I was oblivious. So I didn't figure that out until after the fact when I was reading Big Book, and I was like, oh, there's a crew that did this, and they had the $sign there. I'm not sure, but I agree with what he said about the Mixed Behold. I did buy that other Mixed Behold that came out a couple of weeks ago. I got Rogue Jack Crusher. I pulled him, but I also pulled Vedic, which was in one of the previous Mixed Beholds. And I got a couple of other crew that I was able to star up. I got a whole rack of crew I was able to star up, and then like 2 or 3 other. Palar Toff.
Wow.
I got him from. So I ended up getting all of these previously released Mixed Behold crew in the next to last one that just happened, and I went ahead and bought.
So that's the secret. You've got to go for the pack after.
Yeah, maybe because I ended up striking gold like 3-4 times, and I was like, well, that was a haul. So that was justifiable. I mean, but you can only justify it after you've done the deed, after you've spent the money and then done the deed. Was it
for forgiveness? Then yeah.
Pull up in chat, folks. Now that the Voyager has a health bar again, what's worse, the 300 crew Mixed Behold or the web store exclusive? I'm going to go against the grain here and say the Mixed Beholds are worse because when they do it cash only in the web store, everyone knows it's evil and shameless. When you put it in a Mixed Behold, I think everyone knows that's evil and shameless too. I mean, yeah, but you have the 4 of you defending and saying at least we get this kind of value out of it. Let me finish. People are saying at least you get this out of it. At least you have a chance to get them without spending cash. And WRG already views Mixed Beholds as the solution to portal dilution. Sorry to rhyme, but they've gone on record of saying, yeah, this is how we're going to kind of handle this going forward. If you want a crew, we'll put them in like a Mixed Behold so you can kind of try to target them. 300 crew or whatever it is, 200, 250, doesn't matter. That big, You're never going to see them. And so, like, at least if you put on the web store, everyone knows it's so obviously a cash grab. This way, they're like, oh, well, we're giving you a chance, and it's just, it's equally evil, but they try to dress it up, and it's like, no, just, at least give people the $50 option. Do both if you're gonna go this route, but come on.
I mean, it sells false hope. That's true.
They are in it to make money, right? We all know that. So is it evil because of the way that they're doing it, or like is it just evil because it's money and money is evil?
But yeah, it's a.
We're playing fast and loose with evil. I'm sure there's a good person working there.
Yeah.
Or they hate money because had they read some questions from their Q&A they had last week, where some suggestions came in that were really fucking good, by the way. Some intrepid, viewer that submitted these questions might have suggested various things like, oh, I don't know, when you do these horrible packs and you're going to keep doing them, that's fine. Then a week or two later, after the people that pulled them feel superior for having them, put them for sale on the web store direct, just a 1.5 drop for $25 or $30 straight, and then they stay there until the portal update.
They get more from the web store than they do.
I know. Wouldn't you think they'd want to utilize that?
And the savings
Would you rather have 100% of $50 or 50% of the thousands of dollars certain whales have undoubtedly spent to try to pull them?
Anyway,
we're not naming names
over and over and over again. I like a comment.
Well, hold on.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, I want to go through all the comments because we did ask them. For Puffcast listeners, the poll ain't over, but 80% of people think the huge mixed beholds are worse for the player than a web store exclusive, which... How far have we fallen? From Eric Nelson, both are completely unpalatable options. Pack. One person would rather have the pack because it gets in the portal sooner.
Can I just say, how far have we come from moaning about Tuesday packs to where we're going like, actually, no, we love Tuesday packs now.
We never said that. We never said that.
No, well, not that, but it's just like, no,
I know.
There was a degree of people that were saying, we'd rather have Tuesday packs back than this.
Yeah, suddenly Tuesday packs seem okay.
And Tuesday packs were the evil at one point.
I would let Idol marry me to a Tuesday pack at this point. A regular Tuesday pack. Dressed as Elvis.
Who's officiating? Which Elvis?
As Elvis. Black Elvis. Black Idol Elvis.
Okay.
Go on, Otto.
Sounds like a racist costume, but it's not. He's British. It's okay.
And then it's easy to ignore the web store. So,
yes, it is easy to. I mean, to be fair, like there is no portal in game to say here, go straight to the web store other than a link. So it is like if people do put Boimler on there, they'll put an announcement say this crew is here, and most players will just go ignore that and then just carry on playing. So that might be.
They have the most insane things in the web store sometimes.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean,
like ridiculous deals.
$299. Get 70,000 dilithium, 100 crew packs, like your heart's desires. I'm like, yeah, I'll probably spend $300, but not all at one time.
No.
By the way, Ben would want us to remind you that it is store.StarTrekTimelines.com.
That we're
unrepentantly bashing, by the way.
Okay, let's actually talk about some crew now, rather than the well, kind of. Hopefully, this is going to be the last mixed beholds debate we have. But anyway,
Drama Talks number 95.
Exactly. Let's go to the crew you will be getting in the next event, the Hybrid Faction Galaxy. In this mega event, Compromised Cameron Gant. For those that go, who? This was the control agent that was aboard the Section 31 ship that the Discovery encountered, and he was sort of like the mole that was actually taken control of. It was a blink and you'll miss him character, but he is going to be a ranked reward Human Starfleet Federation Section 31 control duelist tactician saboteur. No collections. Command DipSec. Is this a
One last
2023
note.
crew? Go on.
One last note. Shame on whoever pilfered Memory Alpha for Rudy Ransom's note. You can do better. And you have done better lately. So, after Gant was reanimated by Control, he lured Michael Burnham to reconstruct her.
Taken by Control, he wants to capture Burnham. Can ride your shuttles.
So tell us about these shuttle riding. Is this going to be someone you want to take for the next faction that will be coming up afterwards? And now you.
I mean, in that sense, he will be, because he's going to get, because it's a mega. He's because he's an event crew, he's going to get the bonus. So he's a big base crew. He's going to get the huge ×3 boost, and he's a top 10 base. However, for long-term play, like, everybody in the top 10 of the security is within a few points. I think something like the top 5, 6, 7 are all within like a dozen points.
Is he one of the big ones still? I haven't checked for a while.
Grant has 2 collections. Grant has 2 collections.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one?
He does indeed.
A Little Stroll and Star Trek Discovery.
Of course, yeah. 2 of that not in the traits. Yeah, that's why. So yes, for those who haven't completed EV Studio Collection, Discovery's a big collection, so that's a little bit of worth. But we are looking at set command dip. The traits. Well, I feel like the liberal use of dip here is maybe not right. Like, what diplomacy did he have other than, you know, maybe duplicitous nature? He should probably have.
He tried to talk him into like going along with it. That was diplomatic.
Yeah, it's more undercover operative. He should have that trait.
Well, his human counterpart was Section 31.
Yeah, that's true. Can't be both.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You guys have it in front of you too, so I don't know. He's a upgrade from High Roller Cisco, and I have that already. He's not much of an upgrade to High Roller Cisco, so
yeah. And this is like we you know, there are 2 sides to discussions with crew in this game. They're either, oh, we're sick of power creep, why is this crew so good, that's making my crew invalid, or what's the point of releasing this kind of crew in 2023? Like, this is of the latter end of the discussion, which goes to prove that you can't please everybody. But yeah, I feel like the crew like this are kind of fillers out there. Like, why release a crew like this? I think people would prefer. Would you prefer? It's a new poll for you if you want to start double check. Would you prefer power creep to tired crew?
No, I'm good. So for you, you know, you can do that while I talk, and then that'll be great teamwork by us.
Do you know how to do a poll?
How do you do a poll?
It's like noted.
Is it vote? How do you do /poll? Is it okay? Hang on. It's asking me what kind of question. What's the question? Oh, right, hang on. Sorry, Karen. No,
so for a long time, we said we don't want 2-skillers anymore if you're going to put no imagination or usefulness into them. And so they heard we don't want 2-skillers, so they stopped printing them. But around that time, they started adding 3rd skills on crew that made 0 sense. Not that they didn't before. So, you know, you throw a dip on someone, you throw a sec on someone, just because a 3rd skill looks better at the behold screen, you're going to get more people to pay for them. So it's not that they're putting any more effort or uniqueness into these crew. They're just adding a 3rd skill. So this is your classic, you know, 2017, Cleon Tours or whatever, where it's like, I don't really need this crew, but maybe I'll get them in an event, or I want someone else in the pack, and so they'll show up. So I wish they'd gone the route of, we'll add more uniqueness. We'll add a great gauntlet roll, or give them an extra 3 traits. That would really spice them up. They're just like, no, we'll just add a 3rd skill and whatever. So, it's basically your 2-skiller of old.
The 3rd skill does not make sense. It should be science or engineering or something rare that they probably didn't want to do.
Did you get the poll up yet?
It just said content is not content is not in the guidelines. I didn't post a rude word or anything. I just said,
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I just said, what do you prefer? Power creep or keep the value of my crew? And it said, no, you can't do that. And I was like, oh, fine. Apparently I banned myself from making polls.
Yeah, and so to show you how crowded the security base ranks are. So number 1 is still Javini, unboosted. She's at 1364. Now, let's take a mere 20 points off of that. You take 20 points off, you're all the way down to crew number 38, Young Guinan, at 1344. 20 points separate 38 from 1. In other words, who cares?
I think that about summarizes up this crew. Who cares? How about talking about Machine Man Paris. He is there staring at the screen with a small... Is that a shadow or is that a beard? I can't quite tell. It kind of looks like an unshaven Scooby-Doo character. He looks a little bit shaggy in that.
Artist number 2 is basically Alice. It has assumed almost full control over the art that's been coming out, so...
Kind of looks like the cardboard cutout of Machine Man Paris rather than Machine Man Paris himself. Give me the flavor and the haiku.
Fascinated by the study of an alien shuttle that he names Alice, Paris fails to realize he is falling into the vessel's cunning and dangerous trap.
Conditioned LaForge? Well, him plus the other one. Interfaced art, too. Look at him. It's just Conditioned LaForge plus Interface LaForge. Yeah, and I haven't seen the episode, so I have no context.
Noted CabTools.app showrunner Danjevin points out this is the upcoming data core neural interface art. So if you're a data core user, this is what you can expect to plug into your brain soon.
More wires, though.
So the question is this crew worth getting? He is Voyage rank 74, under sub 100, but Eng side dip, which is a little harder. And it is a Paris variant. Do you remember the year of Paris when every event was Paris? There were Paris variants coming out of your eyeballs, and he just got events for everything. Like he's got like on screen, he's got a 40 event count. Like this is a crew you might get some legs out of. And
you mean gams?
And gams.
Nice gams.
Nice gams.
No, after I had Paris coming out of all my orifices, I went to the doctor, got a pill, cleared up. Don't worry about it anymore.
It's that French diet.
I'm going to have to pull what's worse, our show and put in several hypotheticals. This is not a powerful crew, in terms of just release type. He's mid-level. And so I guess the best that could be said for him is if you're a newer player and you're struggling for engineering or science, very common. They like to print a lot of command dipset crew like the last one we just talked about. If you're looking for an Eng primary crew, for a Voyager, he's okay there. He's like the 6th best one, which won't set off alarm bells for veteran players. But if you're a newer player at 1 star or 2 star, if you manage to maybe pull him from a pack or something, he'll be fine in that regard for the next year plus. So, I wouldn't be going after him personally. There's not really one collection. If you need an event piece, engineering seats don't pop up as often, so there's just not a lot there. But he's mid-level, is what he is.
He is. EV Suit Tendi has virtually identical skill power. I'm looking at the data core now, and EV Suit Tendi and Machine Man Paris are like this. I think the only reason I want to grab him is because I think the art is pretty, so I want to copy.
I'm different. I'm indifferent on the art, but then I don't remember the episode. I'm kind of like you, Nifty. Like my Voyager memories are very, very sparse for the individual episodes. I do remember the hits like Equinox, Year of Hell, like the big 2-parters, Caretaker, and like I go through and watch sort of like most of the 2-parters and the bigger episodes and kind of skip like a lot of the other stuff. But yeah, I does anyone remember Alice? Like what was Alice?
Fascinated by the study of an alien shuttle that he names Alice, Paris fails to realize he's falling into the vessel's cunning and dangerous trap. It's basically an artificial intelligence from an alien shuttle, and he tries to interface it with the little neural brain link thing, and I want to say seduce without the sexual connotation. She seduces him, traps him into, becoming one, and so he has to... Like, she basically tortures him. Like, he's screaming, and they add this little, like, squishing sound effect or whatever, and it's kind of an odd episode. But, no, I will say that while the art is from artist number 2, it's unique. It's nice to see someone not just standing there or pointing or in a Starfleet uniform, which is 90% of them. So, I do like the art for being unique.
Okay. Let's go over to a Tuesday pack crew upcoming. From Ensign Rita Tannenbaum, a super rare crew that you can get in an upcoming pack that will be happening soon. Why am I pointing this out? Someone tell me, why am I pointing this out? What is the unique...
Ensign Rita. Oh, Ensign Rita. Da, 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 da.
Not quite. I would like to point for anyone that can point out why I am taking particular attention to this super rare crew of this unnamed background TNG and DS9 crew member.
I mean, I suppose we should give this to chat.
Yeah, chat as well.
Since you told us ahead of time.
Yeah,
I know the answer.
I know. You married her.
No, not quite. No, she's...
The answer is literally in my haiku, in fact.
Okay. Okay, we'll wait for the haiku. Let's see if anyone gets it in chat. This is one of the background... Going along the lines of Ensign... well, not Ensign J. Lieutenant J, or... Who was the other one? Dr. Martez.
Ron Canada. Lawrence Luckinbill.
Lots of background actors that sit in the background. That it's nice that WRG are paying attention to and giving cards to some of these crew that you might think, oh, I recognise that face. Yes, you've seen her in 200 episodes. She's just been in the background the entire time.
And one wedding.
Yeah. She was at the wedding of Riker and Troy.
Which is 9 less than he went to this year.
Close. Very close.
Very close. But since chat aren't giving an answer, the actress's name is Ivy Borg. And I think that's just the best. And that's why I pointed her out.
So, here we go. Played by Ivy Borg. How fucking cool is that name? All there is to say.
Brilliant. You've got a hidden gift.
From Quarks to Gaia to the Riker's wedding, this Deep Space Nine engineer may be inconspicuous, but is always there.
Yeah. She was always in the background. She was one of the ones looking out of the... if you remember the classic DS9 episode where the Dominion convoy comes out of the wormhole in a call to arms, she is literally front and center of the shot looking up at the screen. So she is one of the regular background actors that gets unheralded praise. But yeah, I thought that was worth mentioning. How about another... Let's talk about...
Well, hold on.
Go on.
Are we big enough Star Trek fans here to go into the weeds on the sort of biggest, what are they called, extras that haven't made the game yet? Because I know Ayala from Voyager, who was in like 100 plus or something, he's kind of the big one that people have been asking about.
Lieutenant J as
well.
Are there
any extras?
I was saying Jay Mason. No, that's Mae Jameson. No, Jay. She's sort of like the sort of short-haired, almost boyish looking ensign. Goes to conventions all the time. You've seen her loads of times. She's one I'd like to see in the game as well.
Why couldn't they have put her in a Tuesday pack with 200 other people?
Because then you wouldn't want to pull.
Exactly.
That'd be great.
That's how they get you, Frank. This is all about you.
Oh well,
you are the main character in this game.
I've uninstalled the game at this point. No.
You can't uninstall the game. You've got to start Timelines Talks in the Next Generation. You're not allowed to quit. I forbid it.
I might even walk off the show. I don't know. Who knows?
You wouldn't be the first. Okay, from one super rare crew to another, let's move on to Paranoid O'Brien from really one of my favorite DS9 episodes, the name of which I can't remember, but it is the episode where he gets he's on DS9, everyone's very suspicious of him, he doesn't quite know what to do, even his wife and his daughter are avoiding him, and it turns out all along, by the way, spoilers for a 30-year-old show, he is, in fact, a clone of the original.
It's Whispers, by the way.
Are we doing this thing again where you describe the flavor text without actually reading it right before I read it? Because that was a thing for a couple of weeks. That was a lot of fun.
Yes,
I really enjoyed it.
So good.
Okay.
And he's not a clone, he's a replicant, by the way.
What, Blade Runner style?
Apparently. Oh. They didn't want to say clone, and they also didn't want to say android because that was too close to Data. Anyway, what about that flavor text?
I'd rather hear the haiku, actually.
Okay. Why must he suffer? Even the replicant one? What's real at this point?
Very good.
This reminds me of that the Joe Piscopo episode where it's like, I'm a droid and you're paranoid. Like that.
He's Paranoid, which is a great song. Also, check out his note on bigbook.app.
Did you...
Shameless.
Or did the anonymous author who wrote that steal from Memory Alpha?
Somebody stole from Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne.
Don't sue for him. He's dead.
No, is he? No, he's not. Isn't he? Did I miss something? Anyway.
Ozzy Osbourne is alive.
Good.
He's got Parkinson's, and he's probably he's still alive.
Okay.
Yep.
And Paranoid is Black Sabbath, not solo Ozzy.
Flavor text, please, also, before we get any more stagnated.
Hold on, I'm DMing Cranky. Tell us why you wanted to talk about this purple crew.
Well, the one thing I want to just point out is the clone trait. The clone trait, which we have not seen in many crew, and they've decided to reintroduce it. I would like to... Oh, okay. Irony. One job for you. How many clone crew are there on the data core right now? Starts with a C, an L.
So this is like Ivy Borg again.
You're muted, by the way.
9.
I got 0.
9 clone crew on the data core at the moment. This will make...
And most of them are Vorta.
So this will make the 10th clone crew. We could get a clone collection of 10. Is this another subtle way to say, hey, we're padding out the traits?
This is 11, sorry. This makes 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not then.
Yeah. So Paranoid O'Brien is 11. And in clones, he is he's tier 4, and there's only 2 tier 4s per clone. One of them is Kalis the Irretrievable, and then below that is Dupler, Emissary, Wayun, Clone 6, Abraham Lincoln, and then Kevin, Kilana, Wayun, Yelgren, Shinzon, and Wayun again. Keep being a clone.
I actually didn't know that a lot of the Wayuns were clones, but I suppose that does make a lot of sense. Anyway, that's all I wanted to point out.
How'd you not know that?
Their name is Wayun Clone 4 and Wayun Clone 5.
It's been a long time since I've looked at the Wayuns in the game.
He dies and another one just walks in the door without the slapstick soundtrack. They're like, hey.
How many... Jeffrey Combs has got a lot of brothers, hasn't he?
You should do a Jeff Combs dubstep remix, and then you'll remember what you need to remember.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I know it has to be reggae for me. It has to be a reggae song, and then I can just equate it. It's like those, tying a knot in your handkerchief or, remembering things. How about that flavor text?
No, let's move on. We spent enough time on this crew, frankly.
Before we do move on...
God.
Yes, he was determined by the writers to be a replicant in homage to Blade Runner. They actually just specifically decided he was a replicant because they had yet to use that terminology in Star Trek, and they thought it was the perfect time.
Actually, Rigel in chat raised a good point. Shouldn't Thomas Riker have the clone trait? Because he is literally a clone of Riker. Actually should.
Well, hold on. Is Thomas Riker the clone, or is Will Riker the clone?
Ooh, that's a good point. Whoa.
Or are they both clones? Should we be adding 30 clones to the game?
That's a transporter accident. I think that's in a different category.
There's a whole Tuvix situation. Is Tuvix a clone?
No, he's dead.
No.
Good. Anyway, moving on.
Wait, hold on. Where's the dam?
Hey. How about a little bit of one of possibly...
I forgot. I got to use more of these, by the way.
You
We've got
really
all
do.
sorts
No,
of...
you
can't. Don't even try.
I suppose you haven't even got any Warcraft. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about possibly my favourite art of the game for this year so far, the fact that I'm willing to push it for the award show. Brain Drain, Crusher, and Riker, who...
and Rill.
And yes... It was, Brain Drain, Crusher, and Rill. Sorry, yes, on the screen.
Yes.
Brain Drain, Crusher, and Rill. What can you do? I don't give a shit about the stats for this car. I don't even care what their bonuses are. It's Crusher with a straw sucking juice out of Riker's head and as he's sitting on a stool. And you know how much we love props in this game. They could have made him standing and it would have been boring. No, he's sitting on that lovely little beige stool. Look at that. It's so good. Did you not get this card? I got this card just purely for that reason.
Boy, Blazing Bev sure can suck.
I finished the card. I just did it. I'm not a whale. I'm more like a manatee but I did finish this one.
I love the degrees people give to us. It's like, oh, I'm just a light dolphin.
I'm a dolphin,
yeah. I'm more a narwhal of spending.
I'm a dolphin that was accidentally caught in a net and chopped up and put in a tuna can.
Why would you say that, dude? It costs you nothing to not put that image on our head. I know, but I don't want to think about it.
Okay, fair.
Dolphins I've eaten. I eat a can of fish every day for lunch.
Murderer.
Anyway, Milkshake Riker, what do we think?
Shout out to our vegan viewers, by the way. Keep on keeping on.
You do good work. Haiku? Flavor text? Anyone? Am I just out here on my own while you guys are just staring into the void?
All right. Haiku time. Turns out that boba will still be popular then. Delicious Frakes tea.
Funny enough, there's a bubble tea place opening up near me soon. I'm quite excited because I quite like bubble tea.
There was one bubble tea and bubble waffles. They make this big bubble waffle and then twist it into a cone shape and then fill it with ice cream. And so it opened. It's like right across the street. I went there for the first time. It was so bad. First of all, it was an old like Radio Shack. So they had 19. I'm not even exaggerating. They had 19 cameras hooked up in the room, in this very small room, like security cameras pointed everywhere. We're like, why do they need so many? We're like, oh, they used to be a Radio Shack. So it took them, because we ordered for everyone in the household, three bubble cone ice creams. It took upwards of 40 minutes. They had like a couple high school kids working one waffle maker. That's all they had, even though they just opened up. They dropped the third waffle on the floor, so they had to remake that one. And it wasn't even that good. So I don't recommend bubble waffle ice cream cones. Nifty, when you're here, if you want to go get one, we can. But
I was about to say you need to.
I don't recommend these at all, but Nifty, you can have one.
It's an experience, okay?
I'm pretty sure I live in like the bubble tea capital of the world, so.
I'm yet to convince like the rest of my friends and family that how much I like bubble tea. It's just like they look at it and they go, "Why is the straw so big? What are these weird, strange pearls at the bottom?" It's like, no, it's great. You suck them up and they're just little explosions in your mouth, and it's like I kind of love it. I am the 14-year-old girl of our friend group.
Are you a Dippin' Dots enthusiast?
What's Dippin' Dots?
It's the ice cream of the future, dude.
Oh, they're little cryogenically frozen pearls of ice cream.
Sounds good.
Astronaut ice cream, basically.
Ooh. I'd go for
You don't know what Dippin' Dots is?
Hold on.
I'm British. You have to forgive me, but
see.
Hold on, Rich just perked up. Rich, are you a Dippin' Dots fanatic?
No, it's just that you said space astronaut ice cream, and I'm like, I have a place to go get that all the time. It's Air and Space Museum in downtown Washington, D.C. So they sell vast quantities of all different varieties and many like 10 to 12 different flavors of astronaut ice cream, and it's actually really good. And I've been getting it since I was a kid.
Do they have comical flavors like, Armstrong vanilla or,
No, but they do sell tribbles. They sell tribbles, and I got myself a tribble. My best tribble.
Tribble buddies! I have a tribble. Hey! Mine's got my antenna on.
I have things that look like tribbles, but they're not allowed in this room, so I can't show them.
Do they also have floppy ears and 4 legs?
They do.
Hey, I don't know.
And they're still not allowed in this room.
Brain Drain, Crusher and Riker. How many people, quick poll for people, a verbal poll. How many people just got it for the art? How many people don't really care about the stats, but just because the art is so cool?
Art. I got it for both.
If you're going to say quick poll, you have to put the poll up in chat.
No, polls didn't work for me. It just told me I was being very explicit, even though I was asking a sensible question, so I can't win on both fronts here. And now you talk.
Polls don't work for me because I don't know how to do them.
Noted form user idle. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Since we're not going to talk, wrangling this back on the topic, we briefly skirted over this last week or last Timelines talk show when we revealed that Valio Beta 5 LAN is in the game. But now let's talk about her proper Set Command Engineering, Voyage Rank 46. She is the crew you will get 4 times. If you didn't participate in the last event, you've missed 1 star already. Shape up.
Poll up in chat.
Poll is up in
Brain
chat.
Drain Criker.
Criker. Krika or Russia? No, Krika. No, I say that.
Yeah,
Definitely
come
Krika.
on.
Yeah, sorry.
Support Ukraine.
Kriker.
Ukraine.
It's Sippy Cup Kriker. That's what I call it.
Sippy Cup Krika. I like it. Add that to the data core list.
While on a mission to Vallejo Beta 5 to find survivors, Lon encounters the Gorn again. She has to overcome her anger. Sorry. She has to overcome her anger in order to help the victims. I just like the word again. They're like, the Gorn happened again.
Again. Yeah.
I had a nickel.
Somehow the Gorn returned.
Again.
Is Oscar Isaac saying that in the desert or something? I don't know. Yeah, so if you've already missed the event, you missed a star, but there's still 3 stars to get in the next 3 events. Don't miss out. She is quite good. Not the best in the game, but she's pretty good. Again, this is another one that I'm just really happy for the art. I'm a Christina Chong fan. I'm a Laan fan. That look, that does things.
Meanwhile, your wife walks behind you.
Yeah. Okay. So she is an upgrade to. It's hard to tell. She's got a security that's just higher than the Mistress of the Winter Constellation.
Yeah, that was a recently released crew for an event as well.
Yeah, and I got her immortalized also. And that one, I definitely for the art, definitely for the show, but also very useful in the voyages for me.
AC says they don't give out 5 copies. No, mega events do only give out 4 copies. That is the big hook that they want.
4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks, 4 copies, and then they want you to pull recap packs for the 5th copy. If you're a newer player, guys, give me advice. Is this a good crew for a newer player to put a sight on? What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is top of her skill order right now. But only barely. Well, actually, no, because her secondary is much. Her tertiary is much higher than Mistress. Her secondary is actually also higher, but so is Borg Baby Boimler. So between Borg Baby Boimler and the Mistress of the Winter
Rubber Baby Buggy Bumper. Rubber Baby Buggy Bumper.
She's an upgrade.
Rubber Baby Buggy Bumpers.
Yeah, and my alt, I'm playing her on my alt so that I can get all 4 copies because she's probably like the best that my alt is going to be having for a bit.
Haiku? Flavor text?
I would. Go ahead.
Anyone?
Okay. Latest franchise film. Not Vallejo 1 through 4. 5. Night of the Gorn.
I love it.
You put a lot of thought and time into that.
Sure.
Hold on, you can only speak in haiku the rest of the stream, Nifty. You have to answer him in 575.
Well, that sounds like work, but I will try to do it. I guess I may pass.
Hey!
He's so proud of that one.
I was going to say as best I can to end it, but
nice.
Classic 4 syllable statement.
Limerick, rhyming limerick. There's a challenge.
Oh shit.
So
there was a changeling in a bucket. Oh, we're not doing limericks?
No, this crew for me is like right on the borderline of yes, I would cite. I know some people cite everything that comes at 4 stars, whether they're bad or good or whatever. This is a good crew on balance. But the one thing you need to avoid as a newer player is if your top 2 skills are command, dip, or sec, they're just not going to be as valuable for you because you're going to get a lot of 4 or 5 giveaways from objective events, from mega events, and guess what? At 4 or 5, they're like 95% as good as they are at 5-5. So I wouldn't worry too much about that last star. Maybe save it for if you get some Eng Med crew or Med Command crew, they're going to do a lot more for you in the long run. But going up to 10 attack on ships is very nice, and you don't really want to cite your other damage crew, someone like a tactical Mayweather who doesn't add a lot from his other stars, or Fury Cass, or whoever else you may have for damage.
Is she a boost? Sorry, I haven't checked her ship stats, but has she got a damage without a limit?
No, she's
unlimited.
Okay.
She's plus crit though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and crit bonus,
I thought that's
you know,
what you
which
meant.
is another nice reason. So, for
But it's attack crit.
listeners,
It's
I see,
plus
I see,
10
I see,
attack
yeah.
crit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Okay. Sorry. Well, that
that's what happens when you have 5 people. See,
Yeah.
Idle had scheduled everyone for the show except for me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to come on anyway and talk over everyone, and then I'm going to get mad when other people try to interrupt me because that's my job.
It's the wild
I'm just going to download the game again.
Yeah, you actually download like, I'm done with this game. This game's shit. I'm enjoying my best life. And you literally message me saying, I'm installed the game. Should I install the game? I'm like, fuck no. Live your best life. Like, come on.
That was
To be fair, I did take about a 1-year break, so
It was so fun seeing that transpire in real time on Discord, where he's like, "You guys are skirmishing, losers." Oh,
hey,
that
hey,
sounds
don't
interesting.
editorialize.
I'm not going to download the game. Well, my phone does have enough free space. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll just download it.
Don't
Okay, I'm top
editorialize. I
100.
said you're worthless sacks of wastes of life. I didn't say that you were losers, all right? Don't put words in my mouth.
And I wouldn't have it any other way than to have you back, because it
For
genuinely does
podcast
make me
listeners,
happy.
why did you get Brain Drain Kriker? 67% got her for game addiction. They were going to get him anyway. 22% got them for the art, and 11% only collect Jeffrey Combs variants. So there you go. Nobody didn't get them, apparently. As an event crew, I guess we get almost everyone.
Interesting. Well, before we wrap up tonight, it's been a great show. Little spoiler zone for you. A few little hints and things are coming. I'm just going to leave a couple of phrases for you to decipher, rather than just holding a phone up.
Phrases Crane.
Phrases Crane. Yeah, it's new series out now on Paramount Plus.
Stay on topic.
Are you itching?
Stay on topic.
Red Leader coming in. Are you itching for Itzen? And the other phrase is, I was a complete gentleman.
We're getting a new Gregory Itzen character. He's going to be in the campaign.
She's an astronaut. She's right over your shoulder.
Trapped in this. Anyway, big thanks, Nifty. Thank you for coming on. Irony Rit, thank you very much for coming on. Go ahead.
Hold on. We're not done yet. Walt brings up Brutal Collection. We didn't even mention it. It did drop today, and it's very large.
Yeah.
And there you go.
The game moves on. There's a Brutal Collection. It's huge. Thank you, Cranky. I'm going to talk to Irony in a minute. Once we've done the mariachi, we've got to do the dance. Anyway, Mr. Irony Rit, any last shout-outs, bits of info, anything else you want to say before you depart our stream? Not for good. I hope we get you back at some point. You've been an amazing guest.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, there are more features to Data Core than I have mentioned here. Many, many more. Like, for example, items. It'll tell you which items you don't have that you need. It also improvements to farm lists. We have added cadet missions, and we've added the names of the missions to the names of the episodes to the missions for farming now, so that you'll be able to see. So the list of features goes on and on. At some point, we will be compiling an official list, and definitely we'll be posting it in the Data Core Discord. I don't have the link, but if I can post it here, or one of you can grab the link for the Data Core Discord.
The SDT community tools. We will do that now.
There we go.
Ooh. Oh yeah, there
you can join Discord if you have bugs, feature requests, questions, comments, snide remarks. Come on and join the Data Core Discord.
Amazing.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam.
To the jam.
Slam the jam. Also, Frank, Nifty as well. Thank you for coming along. We will see you again soon. Next week, you know what? I do this every time. I always forget.
4 more episodes, and then we're free forever.
Thank God. Oh.
You say that. Next week, me and Stars will be continuing our adventures through Star Trek Elite Force 2, which is the follow-up to Elite Force. So please join us for that. But more importantly, when did I schedule it? I think I scheduled it for Sunday. Let me check the early. Yes, this Saturday we will be doing pros and cons. featuring the It's Got Star Trek podcast, probably my favourite podcast trio ever, but the two of them, Dan and Patrick. Dan, you will have seen on the charity show this year. He came aboard and was very informative, but him and Patrick will be going head-to-head on pros and cons, talking about who they think are the best cooking duo in Star Trek. So look out for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Should be Saturday. I think I need to remind them because they actually messaged me saying can't wait for Sunday. So maybe we ought to have a chat about that. So either Saturday or Sunday. I'll let you know, depending on what they can do. Also, we are talking awards shows. Award show discussions are happening. If you want to come and join the debate and the votes, please come to our Discord, bit.ly/trek-time. Please come along. You can enter categories. There will be votes, all sorts of things. You can have your say on what the community categories are this year for the award show, which tentatively, which may be around December 16th time, hasn't been officially agreed, but we're talking about it. But yeah, award show things are happening. Looking forward to that. But from myself, from everyone here, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Ta-ra, live long and prosper, and enjoy a little bit of Mr. Shatner as TJ Hooker.
It's all set.
What's all set?
I got Hooker lined up with a dude who's gonna give him the deal of a lifetime on a new Porsche.
A Porsche?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe you should wait. You might get a better deal through the state.
Yeah?
Yeah, we just did some story on a guy who's selling stolen Porsches off a lot on Main. Real sleazy character.
What's his name?
Delvin, Kelvin,
Melvin?
Melvin?